Before social media, there was a food court. Grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's go back. Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Gen X Unfiltered, the podcast.
What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Eric, Steve, hello.
Hello. Sorry, my headphones are acting up on me, so it sounds weird. There we go.
Oh, okay, you're back?
Yeah, it's weird. The thing shorts out, all of a sudden it just goes like nothing. It sounds like it's not working right.
Well, then you just can't hear us, so it's probably better for you.
Well, it just sounds weird. It's like
It's much more peaceful if you can't hear us, I guess.
Now, before we get into this podcast, I do have to make an announcement. There's a fourth guest here today.
What? Who's the fourth guest?
The fourth guest is this giant pimple on my chin. I'm just talking about it so that people watching aren't like, oh, damn, does that girl know about that giant pimple on her chin?
To be fair, there's a giant microphone in front of your face so no one can see it.
I know,
That's
but
true.
I
Yeah, I was
see it.
thinking that, yeah.
I feel it. Like, there is 1,200 pounds of makeup on top of the zit, and you can still see it. Like, this is the monster of all zits.
Didn't you execute it?
Oh, it's been a week of pimple patches, witch hazel, hot compress. Like, it ain't going nowhere. It just keeps draining and oozing. I don't know what's
good
going on.
times.
Oh, man.
Welcome, friend.
Welcome.
But her name's Karen, for obvious reasons.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Karen the pimple. Got it.
Yeah,
Got
she
it.
can F right off anytime now, but we're just there. You know, you do the
Yeah.
whole thing, make fun of yourself before other people make fun of you.
Self-deprecation, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're doing here.
All right.
You're beating them to the punch. Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I wouldn't have noticed if sitting here, but
Yep, but now that's all I can see, really.
yeah, now that you pointed out,
That's
all I see
fine.
is it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I figured these lights would do nothing but emphasize it, so...
There's soft lighting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, anyway.
Well, either way, like you said, you got a big microphone in your face, so you're probably
fine.
pretty well
It's
hidden.
fine. I just
Yeah.
feel better talking about it. I feel like, you know what I feel like? I feel like Kelly Kapowski on Saved by the Bell when she got asked to the prom or the dance. And the night before, she had to do the parade or something.
Yeah,
and she got the
like,
big giant pimple.
But
That's
then,
what I feel
didn't she
like.
like get her face all red because she used them like face cleaner or something like that? Was
Yeah.
that the episode?
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
That's what I feel like
She had
right
like a
now.
chemical burn or something. or other. Yeah.
I'm about to go get chemical burn just to get rid of this. Karen.
It worked out well for Kelly Kapowski, so hey, why
Yeah.
not?
Karens are hard to eradicate. Anyway, let's move on to the topic at hand.
All right.
Yeah.
We are today going to talk about our favorite hangouts as teenagers in like the 90s, early 90s.
The
sort
80s,
of.
90s,
Oh,
yeah.
back in the
80s,
day?
90s.
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't quite teenagers in the 80s, but like definitely early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sort of some of our favorite, like, I think there's sort of universal hangouts for like the 90s.
Absolutely.
80s
Yeah,
and
yeah,
90s.
yeah. I would, yeah, for sure.
And I
Yeah.
kind of forgot about a lot of it until we just sort of were like bouncing around ideas and talking about it. So we just have a bullet point of like some of the places, and then we're just going to have just a conversation about it.
Yeah,
our
because I think, like,
experiences.
hangout culture has definitely changed from our generation to the
Oh,
current
yeah.
generation.
I don't, how much, if there even is much of a Hangout
No.
culture, and we can
Yeah.
talk about that, but yeah, I don't know if that's really like as much
No,
a thing anymore.
we
Yeah.
have a little bit of different experiences. Like Eric grew up in a very small town where like he had to,
Just a small town boy.
oh dear. But he had to like, he needed parents to be willing to drive him 15 or 20 minutes to go to a lot of these places.
Until I got my license, yeah.
Whereas like Steve and I grew up in a moderately sized like city. It wasn't a booming metropolis. It was like suburbia.
but in the suburbs, yeah.
And it was like we had all these things in our city. So
yeah, exactly. There was.
Eric is a sheltered teenager.
Yeah, I lived the sheltered.
Oh, he was lucky.
life,
He was the lucky one.
Maybe.
So the first one on the list, which definitely is not big of a thing as it was back then, is movie theaters. Movie theaters were the bomb.com. Does that age me?
That
That
I don't know if it ages you. It definitely takes your coolness factor way down.
Yeah,
You mean
exactly.
I was cool?
Well, I don't know about that, but
Oh.
you had some bony punch with the Conan O'Brien fan, but I'll just disappear with that
yeah,
comment.
the lamo meter's ticking higher right
Yeah.
now.
Whatever, bomb.com. Anyway, but movie theaters were huge.
Oh yeah, oh god, I remember all the time going to movies, like not every weekend, but like
Well, also back then they were like dirt cheap. Like that back then was when like Tuesday nights were like $2
Cheapy Tuesdays,
nights, like
yeah.
Toonie
yeah, I remember the Tuesdays.
Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And so, okay, I guess we can just sort of each individually, maybe just sort of briefly talk about our history if we hung out at movie theaters. I don't know, but I
Yeah.
know
Oh yeah.
where I lived, there was a movie theater. It was like probably like because that was back when they had like Cineplex theaters and like they were
And mall
separate.
theaters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was like Showcase and
Cineplex.
Oh,
And they were
Yeah.
totally different, right?
Depending on who released the movie,
Yeah.
that's where it would be playing. Yeah.
So our Cineplex, I think it was, it doesn't really matter, but there was one that wasn't in the mall. This was like an outside one. And I'm telling you, like every Friday and Saturday, I didn't go to the movies every Friday and Saturday, but you would show up like it was this tiny theater. There would be a lineup around the building of all just kids because they would be going to the movies with their friends.
Yeah.
The parking lot was full of cars, of parents just like stopping, and a whole bunch of kids piling out. And it was like you saw kids from your school, you saw kids from other school. It was just like, it was definitely this like hangout thing. You just went to the movie theater to hang out.
Oh, absolutely. People, yeah. I mean, I that's remember that for sure. I remember, going to the movies and like, you'd go with your friends and like, like I said, your parents would drop you off, or then occasionally you go to that when your dad's like, hey, let's go see a movie, and you show up with your dad and be like,
that was super awkward. Not on a Friday or Saturday night, Dad.
Like, because you try and get your parents to drop you off like at the back of the theater, maybe like the next door or something like that.
Oh,
so
then
you,
there
kind
was
of walk up like, we walked here.
So then like the theater, like, because it said it was very small, so like to buy a ticket was literally a foot inside the door, so there was just a lineup outside of the door along the wall. And then there would be like the cool kids that were like the 16 or 17-year-olds who drove themselves to the theater.
Badass.
And they'd pull up with their stereo blasting, and 12 kids would get out of a car and they'd be like, yeah, what's up, bro?
Oh, yeah. No, the movie
Is
theater
that what they really said was, what's up, bro?
I don't know. Bro, I don't know.
But
maybe.
I don't, I mean, it's, again, it was totally different than now.
Yeah.
I mean, it was different, too, because I remember there's a couple, there's movie theater, like there's one in the mall.
Yeah.
And then I went to, there was one that was like a standalone theater. Then there was, I remember there was one, it was like in like a strip mall plaza kind of thing.
Yeah.
There was a few different ones, but definitely all of them were busy.
Yeah, for sure. Like for me, like when we trekked into the big city on special occasions, we went to the mall theater first, and that was like what everybody did. And it was, the mall theaters were small.
Yeah, I think the mall one had like, I want to say like 3 cinemas, maybe
3 cinemas. The screens were small. Like the theater size was smaller and stuff.
Well, they didn't have these like multiplex theaters back then.
Oh, exactly. That's what I was going to say. But I remember being a teenager and the first like Silver City near me opened. It was a big deal because now you've got these massive screens.
Yeah.
It's a huge building with all theaters in it. And it also had like an arcade in it. Some game rooms and stuff. And it was like, for a teenager, it was like, whoa, this is like amazing.
Oh, yeah. That totally changed. I remember the first one opening too.
The mall movie theater where I lived was like, that's where like parents went with their kids a lot of times. Like the one I went to that was like a standalone, it was like bopping on the Friday and Saturday nights, but like the mall one was where like the families are like, if your parents wanted to go to maybe be like, let's go to the mall on a Saturday. No, because that's dangerous too, because you're at the mall on a Saturday. But either way, it was just like this whole thing. And I did go to the mall movie theater with a boy though.
Ooh. Whoa!
We had
spicy.
We had some French fries in the food court before the mall.
French fries in the food court, fancy.
Like New York fries.
New York fries, was it?
Can you get any more? Like,
did he pay?
I don't know. I mean, we were like 15. I don't know.
Probably one of the parents paid.
I don't even know how anybody.
Yeah.
I had a job at 15, so I'm assuming. No, I feel like he paid.
I would hope so.
Class move. New York fries, and he paid.
Yeah.
Class.
And a movie.
And a movie. And I don't even remember what movie it was, but it was super awkward. And like, we literally never talked again after that because it was just like one of those really awkward, like, we're both like super like social anxiety and like shy, and so like we were friends in school in class, and then we went to the movie theater and we literally just sat there staring at the ground because we're like, this is weird and awkward, and then we just never did it again or spoke of it.
Whoa. There you go. Pretend like it didn't happen.
I don't know, it wasn't bad, it was just really awkward. I'm getting like the cringe.
I think every in high school everything like that's awkward. You don't know what to say, what to do.
And that back then it was like that's what you did when you went out. It was like, go to the movie theater, go to the movie theater, go to the movie theater.
Going to the movies was always like a thing. I don't know, like I'm going like, again, not like every weekend, but I went to lots of movies there.
But they also had more movies back then too. Like now they obviously have like big theatrical release movies, but it's not, remember like back then there would be like 10 movies playing. Like there was a shit ton of movies, maybe not 10, but you know what I mean? Like there was so many new release movies all the time.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just different now because it was only in theaters. Well, I mean there was some like direct to video, but that was like pretty rare.
But that's what I mean.
Right to like a VHS rental.
If
exactly. Like there was no Netflix like releases. All that stuff didn't exist, right?
Yeah. Whereas now it's weird because it's like they do like day and date on demand, so it's like you can just watch it at home now and stuff.
I think going to the movies now is a complete ripoff. So
the last time I went, it was super expensive. Yeah, like the ticket loan was like, I can't remember, because then it's weird now because it's like it's so different. Whereas other than the size of the theater, like you just pay to get your seat. Yeah. Now they have like you can get ones that like they serve you food to your tables. You can do like VIP seating.
The VIP seating,
They have like all sorts of different like things like that, which we never had.
I'm just like adverse to being around people, so I'd rather just watch it in my house in my pajamas.
Kelly hates everybody.
Ultimate comfort.
Like also, I don't know about you guys, but like my dad was a big like going to the movie theater guy. Like even now to this day, like my dad will go to the movies by himself if
big
he wants
cinema
to see
buff.
something. If he wants to see, he's not like a cinema buff, but he just like going to the movies is an enjoyable experience for him.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, even now, if there's something he really wants to see, he'll just go see it by himself. So when I was a kid, we went a lot to the movies as a family as well. Like usually my mom and my sister would go to a movie and I'd get dragged to like Superman with my dad.
Yeah.
So
well, and that's the thing. I mean, you still can't compare watching a movie at home to watching it in the theater.
No.
Yeah, it's a way different experience.
The convenience of it, obviously, it's super nice. And now it's kind of like, do I want to spend the money to see this?
Yeah.
But it's not the same at all. Like,
no.
It's always just, I still enjoy going to the movies. I don't go that often, but it's still, I do like it.
Yeah. I definitely have fond memories of the movies as a kid. It's funny, again, like all these things I've totally forgot about until we started talking about it. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that.
But I mean, nothing beats like movie theater popcorn.
Yeah.
Like you can try making it at home, but it's not the same.
It's never the same, yeah. And the best thing ever was when they finally, and that's, I remember it was like a newer thing. They actually had like, you could actually disperse your own butter. Your own butter.
Yeah.
That was
I don't even know if it's butter or just oil.
I don't think it's butter, but it's whatever the hell it is. It's like, give me all of it.
Yeah.
I just drown it in it.
Exactly.
Sit there, shake a bag, load it.
It's delicious. It's artificial, but whatever.
It's so good. Movie theater popcorn now.
I remember when I was in high school, my friend's brother worked at the movie theater, and after they closed, I remember being at his house, and his brother would come home from work and literally have garbage bags of popcorn.
Oh my God.
Because they would just take all the stuff that had popped and not sold and just put it in a bag. And we had this giant bag full of it.
That's amazing.
Oh my God. It's like, Jesus.
Perks.
It's worth,
So some perks,
One of the things that just I remembered about the movie theaters too, is I'm kind of thinking about it, is like going to at least from my experience, going to the movie theaters wasn't only like to go hang out with your friends, but 9 times out of 10, everybody that worked in the movie, like that was back in the day where they still had somebody like rip your ticket. Remember that?
I remember that.
But like every single person that worked in the movie theater was somebody that you either went to school with or know through a friend of a friend. It was like literally going to like school, but on a Friday night.
Oh yeah.
No
Actually, did you guys ever sneak into the movies?
No, but I have a story about something.
Oh.
I'm kidding, yeah.
I used to sneak food in. I paid for my ticket. I never snuck in.
I don't even think I think they just know people, but yeah.
The best was like, you go to the movie theater, and back in the day, you just like before the movie's about to start, you hear everybody sit down, the lights come down, hear like the cans opening, everyone's opening up their pop cans.
It's like they don't sell cans of pop here, do they?
Yeah, exactly. So it was always comforting knowing that I wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
So my quick story about the movie theater is me and my friend probably not even actually wanted to see the movie, but just wanted to go out somewhere. So we went to the movie theater, and it was My Cousin Vinny was playing, and I think it was like
Joe Pesci.
I think it was a 14 plus. I don't even know.
What a movie to sneak into, too.
But just let me finish.
So risque.
Well, I didn't.
No, I know. It's just hilarious. So it's like
14 plus. So we were not 14. We were 13. We had this whole story because we're like, oh my God, they're not going to let us in. Like blah blah blah. So we like made up our birthday. Like we knew. I mean, it was a year earlier. Or like whatever. So we had this whole entire story, and like that was back when they actually did that. I mean, you didn't have proof. They would just be like, "Are you 14?"
Yeah, you can't really prove that.
So we snuck in, and we felt so like, oh my God, we just did the biggest like scandal ever, and we got it. They asked us. We said we were born in the year before,
so
and
they did their due diligence. I'm impressed.
Yeah, and then we went in, and I don't know why. And there was literally, it must have been like a Sunday afternoon. There was literally nobody in the theater.
Yeah. It's just like, what a movie. It's like reminds me of The Simpsons when they want to go see Naked Lunch.
I think that was not what we expected.
No, they wanted to go see Barton Fink was the other one they wanted.
Yeah.
It's like Barton, like, I know. But really? My Cousin Vinny is just like a really random movie to pick, but I guess because of, maybe because it had Ralph Macchio in it or something, or
maybe.
The kids love Joe Pesci.
No, everyone loves Ralph Macchio.
I don't even think it was a fact of like, we want to see My Cousin Vinny. Is we went to the movie theater, and that was kind of like the only option to see that we could see. Like it was more just like going.
Only cool thing I never snuck into any theaters, I don't think, but I do remember my friend.
But it was so easy. Like if you think about it.
They didn't care. Even now, I mean, do they actually go and check? Like,
nobody even works in the movie theater except for the concession stand now.
Oh my God! Me and my friends, we went and saw the Pamela Anderson movie Barbed Wire before we were like 18. It was rated R. We're like, are we even gonna get in? Oh my God! Same kind of story as yours, basically.
Did they ask?
They didn't ask her for how old we were. We got in, and what a goddamn disappointment that movie was.
What were you expecting?
We were like, 15, 16-year-old guys.
Yeah.
We were expecting like, obviously,
Triple X rated, like
a Pamela Anderson, like, wild things happening on screen, and that wasn't the case at all. So
no, I remember
we're not going to play porn in a public movie theater.
We weren't expecting full-on porn, but we were expecting like a good, reveal.
Like a nice baby blue kind of movie.
Yeah, exactly. A little softer than real hardcore porn.
That's so weird to go with a group of your friends too. Like it's weird.
Well, you're not gonna go by like
yeah.
I'm
not going by myself.
I was never a teenage boy, so I don't get it.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Let's move on because we have a couple more topics, and we've already talked about this one a lot.
Yeah, so movies, fantastic place to go hang out as a kid.
Another one was, I just dropped my list, but that's fine. I'm not going to go through everyone on the list because some of them aren't super relevant.
Yeah,
so like,
here's your list if you need it.
Oh, thanks.
Just to make sure you don't miss one and be like, oh, we totally forgot to talk about the most important one on this list.
Let's go back.
This one's really quickly. We'll just talk about it because I'm pretty sure we've talked about it in other podcasts before. But like roller rinks, for me, that wasn't really teenager. That was more like 9-10 years old.
Elementary school.
Roller rinks.
Yeah.
All the time to Roller Gardens. It was called. It's gone now. Long gone.
Everybody used to have their birthday parties there. Like all my like girl guide like events were there.
My friend would go like Saturday afternoons. We get dropped off and like I remember skating. They'd play like they had the big. I loved it. They had like they'd have like the strobe lights going and then the screen playing like Def Leppard, pour some sugar on. Yeah, like a DJ and you could request songs and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh yeah, I loved it. I remember renting the roller skates, those brown ones with the orange wheels.
Yes.
Oh my god, yeah. I went there for a couple kids' birthdays way back in the day. Same thing, we're probably like in grade like 4, around that age.
Like I didn't go. Like I have a friend, if you're listening, you know, who she went there a lot more as like a teenager than I did, but like I didn't really go.
No, I went there like 12, 13. I remember going once when I was like, I had rollerblades, so that must have been like 16 maybe. I think it was like the last time I went. It was kind of like,
oh, you were going there till 16. Weird.
No, but that was like a one-off. I remember going there once. Kidding. Yeah, but no, I loved. Like, that was a popular place to go.
I was going to ask if you went there during like the rollerblade revolution, and you had rollerblades.
The once or twice, but it was always I just had like the rental. Those brown ones. But that was a place I remember like there would be guys out from like. Because I had an older sister, so she would go sometimes with her friends, and I remember there'd be like, there's one guy that all thought they were there. Yeah, they was
there smoking.
I was gonna say on his motorcycle, he had like a little crotch rocket or something like that. He was like 18 probably at the time. I don't know.
All the girls would be like, oh, so and so's out there.
Yeah. So, but I loved going to roller gardens in the back in the day and like listening to the music and stuff. Yeah.
All right, next one up. Let's just do pool halls. I mean. Pool halls / bowling alleys. There was a lot of them were combined. Yeah. I personally, I know we were talking about it and Steve has more stories about that. I didn't really personally hang out. Like I went to bowling for like when I was like 8 years old for like bowling parties. But I didn't really hang out in the bowling alleys. I mean, there was one bowling alley around here where it was kind of like I don't know what I can't even say that because it's not even like true.
It's a little rougher crowd.
That went there, and there was a boy that my friend liked that used to go there. So when I had a car, we would just drive around there and sit in the parking lot waiting for the car. But we were too scared.
Stalkers.
So no, but this bowling alley had like you went in the front door and you had to go down like all these stairs, and we got in the front door once, and then we chickened out and ran back to the car. That's the extent of my bowling alley hangouts.
Bowling alley. Yeah, I mean, as kids, that was definitely a go-to place for like birthdays and stuff, but I never hung out.
Teenagers.
But as in high school, my buddies and we would go. There's a bunch of us that would go and meet up at like there was a couple of places. Somewhere there was a pool hall we'd go to. It was just strictly a pool place. It was kind of It was a little weird. Like you can get
some interesting characters probably.
Yeah, because I mean, like, you go in there like 60-year-old guys who clearly were like, not the greatest in shape of their life, or definitely that little
road hard.
Some interesting people there. So it was always kind of fun. I remember, my buddy on Saturdays we go there, play a couple games of pool, and then at someone else's house. Or that's back when one of us would need to drive. Usually it was me driving. Yeah, one of my parents.
You were the loser that had to drive all the time.
I was lucky. Yeah, it was great. And my parents' Mazda MPV.
Whoa, pool has definitely had a vibe to him though. I remember going once in high school, and like I grew up in a small town, right? Yeah. So my one buddy, he wore cowboy boots.
Whoa, shit kickers.
Yeah, exactly. And he was getting some eyes in that place. Like, what?
You're gonna have to you're gonna have to tell me who that is after.
I'll tell you after.
I probably know it, but I want to know which one of the people I know that was. I'm gonna take a guess in my head.
Actually, Eric talked about some of his friends in the past. We're trying to figure out which one were there.
Well,
exactly. So I was like, are we gonna get in trouble here? These guys are eyeing my buddy pretty hard in his cowboy boots.
They're probably just making fun of him.
Oh. Totally. Exactly. But he was a bit of a hothead too. So I'm like, is this guy? Yeah.
I know who that is.
You never met this guy.
Oh,
okay. It's not one of the people that.
No, he's one of the guys that like I hung out with in high school. Once high school ended, I didn't see him again.
He's 200.
Yeah.
Cowboy boots, hothead.
Cowboy boots and hothead. Yeah, exactly.
Dangerous mix.
I mean. if you're like, if that doesn't say small town boy, then I don't know what does, because cowboy boots weren't really cool, were they?
Yeah.
I remember a buddy had a pair. And
Really?
I was like, oh, I thought it was so cool. But we were like probably like 13, big into like GNR and like
but it was
Metallica
like
at the time. So I got a pair. It's like, oh man,
It was like the Doc boots that were the
then
badasses
Doc's
wore.
got into that was
Yeah, the best part was he thought the cowboy boots was like a good look. He's like, we're going out. I'm putting my boots on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
like,
dear, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
it's
Going out boots. Yeah. Watch the snakes, kids, boy.
All right, I don't know about you guys, but where I lived, I'm gonna just straight up say, like, I never went because I was too chicken. I don't think it was like an invite thing. You just showed up, you just knew about it, word on the street type deal, and I was too scared to go. But like, we used to call them like bush parties.
Yeah, I definitely remember. We would go like not so much. I remember a few times going to some parks and stuff like that.
No, the bush parties
But
that
not
I
so
knew,
much like, but I knew there were people that had bush parties.
the
and
bush
stuff,
parties, basically, it's just in a bush.
Yeah,
like
it
in
was
the
on the
local
forest
park or something.
field or something like that. Yeah.
And the ones that happened, like that I heard about at my school, like again, I am generalizing, but at the time, everybody in high school, they have their categories of groups, right? It just is what it is.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
the quote unquote like rougher, tougher kids that kind of did the bush parties.
Yeah.
And you always heard all these crazy stories about them, and I was like, I'm never gonna go. I'm so scared.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
But
yeah.
you know, I mean, but I never went. But they were huge. Like I think Steve was telling before, like his school had a lot of house parties. My
Yeah, it
school,
was
it was
more like-
all bush parties.
Like,
Was it?
like
No,
kid and play style house parties? Like
Yeah, I wish. No, but mostly the party. There was a few, like, I remember a few times. Not so much that, but I remember, like, we'd walk. There was a beer store. Remember, my buddy had a fake ID, and we had to walk
Yeah.
down. So I remember, like, we were, like, drinking beers on the bike path, like 10 o'clock
Yeah.
at night and stuff like that,
Yeah.
or things like that. Sometimes stupid shit, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, like, real, like, big outdoor bush. But I remember a few times going
yeah.
out some parks, like, north of the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Did
we were all driving, so it wasn't really, we would
Yeah.
just kind of meet up there and just...
Yeah.
Did you used
Hang
to
out.
party? You used to party in a cemetery, didn't you? Didn't you do it once on Halloween or something?
No. Where's this coming from?
Something about a cemetery. There was like weirdos in the cemetery. You went
There
to-
was
I was gonna say-
there was rumors about some of the goth kids. There was rumors about
Oh, jeez,
them
I
having
remember the
parties
goth kids, yeah, I
in the
remember.
cemeteries and
And-
doing weird like seances and stuff.
And please forgive us out there for using the terms to categorize
Yeah.
groups. That's just how it was in high school.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
the
exactly.
goth
There was
kids,
different like cliques, and they had like names of the goth kids and like
That was
preppy
back,
kids
like,
and
back
The
in the day.
smokers.
Yeah.
Like when Marilyn Manson
The
removed
jocks.
The
Marilyn
jocks,
Manson
yeah.
removed
Yeah.
his ribs to...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had a bit of a reality slap me in the face a couple of years ago because I thought, like, I grew up in the sticks, right? I thought, oh man, but there was no house parties in my high school. There's nothing, that didn't go on. I later found out there was, and I just wasn't invited. So
Okay, but like, I don't think that house parties sent out invitations. You just heard of it and you showed up. That was
well, either way, I wasn't hearing about it. So
No, that was...
I was living my little naive like fantasy where I'm like, oh yeah, that just didn't happen around here.
No, house parties happen. I never went to a house party. Like I said, in my school it was the bush parties. I never went to a house party. I didn't have like a giant circle of friends. So like, and honestly, a lot of my really good friends, I didn't even go to the same school as. So
Yeah.
like, we kind of didn't really have that.
Yeah,
I didn't do that,
shared
but
circle of friends, yeah.
and so yeah, I mean, I heard about the bush parties all the time. I heard about people getting drunk and like, just like the cops busting it up and like, I
Yeah,
don't know.
most of the parties I went to were mostly in someone's house or something like that, and nothing like super crazy happened, but...
Steve went to more of a higher income
Well,
bracket school.
But yeah,
I'm I'm saying generally it was
I
known
went-
as the area it was in was like a.
Oh yeah, no,
Steve-
I had lots of there was
Yeah.
lots of rich kids in my school. I was
Yeah.
100% on one
I
of them.
know.
Like I was saying, I remember telling you guys, I remember riding to school on my 18. I thought it
Yeah.
was great. I had an 18-speed mountain bike, and a kid drove in his new Range Rover.
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
picturing
So
your
it's
high school
like-
experiencing being exactly like 90210.
I was like,
Well-
I was like David Silver, or this like the blonde kid that offed himself by accident. I was that kid.
Oh no!
Steve, you
Oh,
can't
God.
talk
he's just,
like
he's just a
that.
massive dork,
I know, but like,
trying to be all cool and shoots
and
himself.
my
boy.
school was more
He's
in
a cowboy
like,
kid.
my school was more of in the like not so upper class area.
Yeah, my
It was
school
just
was in
different
See, my
vibes.
school was in a weird spot where it was. You had a lot of kids that lived in some
they
of the
had
really.
wealthier houses.
Oh yeah, like I
Steve's
would.
yeah, your high school is like 90210, and yours was like Dangerous Minds.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. There was a few times in high school where I had friends and like I knew like my one friend's his dad was a doctor, so I remember going to his house and like, oh man, or one of my one
yeah.
friend, his dad was a really high up at a big multinational corporation. It's like, damn, this is a big house.
Yeah.
Then I remember them coming to my house like, hey, this is, like my parents, you guys remember, but
yeah.
So, but it was just, it was always an interesting dichotomy, but most people were pretty
and
cool either way.
You weren't the only, like, average kid at that school.
No,
it was just like the majority of where the school was located. It was a more affluent neighborhood.
Yeah. So it was always interesting, because my group of friends, there was 10 of us probably, so some parents were like doctors or other people were like, my friend's dad worked in like just her stores, like a sales guy and stuff. Yeah. So it'd be, we go to his house, my house, their house. It was always very different. But a lot of people preferred coming to like my house or my other buddy's house.
Yeah.
Just a different vibe than like you go.
Sometimes it's more welcoming.
Well, you go to somebody's houses, like they're super nice, but it's like I don't want to like touch anything or like just sit here and
everything's very pristine and perfect.
Yeah, make sure I don't break anything. Yeah.
Most of my friend group, we were all kind of the same. Nobody really had like it. Oh well, there was. I mean, I won't like obviously, but like there was growing up like a new development that was being built, and it was sort of like again what we just called it back then was like the rich kids went there.
Yeah.
I mean, it really wasn't, other than like the houses were probably they were brand new and every other house was like 30 years old, but
it was
like the rich kids.
There was always that, like I think every city has that area where it's like the
I mean now that area is like not the rich area, it's just the
now that area is like 30 years old, like
exactly.
It becomes there's the new area.
All right, so last on the list, which was pretty major if you were a 90s teen, I feel like. I mean, I don't know how it can't be. The mall. The good old shopping mall.
That was the Hangout.
That was
the shit. I didn't say bomb.com. I said the shit.
Oh, I think, and I'm going to say not just now, I think it was like 70s, 80s, 90s.
Oh, yeah.
That was like the place to go. I mean, it was kind of one of the only places that kind of had a whole bunch of different things there. Like
the mall it had everything, like literally when you think about it.
It did, but from a girl perspective, it was mostly just to go there and like hang out with people. Like, at least we just went there to like see other people from school or see like the boy that you liked, or like kids just went there to hang out in the food court.
Oh yeah. Well, because it's some malls too, like we were saying, like right there had like movie theaters. Some of them had arcades. Then obviously you could shop for stuff, and you had the food courts. So you had like a bunch of different fast foods. It's all in one spot.
My parents I think Eric said his too, but my parents used to tell me to stay away from the arcades. That's where the bad kids.
Oh yeah, my dad told me if you ever caught me in the arcade, I was in big trouble.
That was like the bad kid place.
There was, I remember where I lived. There was an arcade that was like downtown that everyone knew about, and was like, I remember going there once or twice. It disappeared, but it was like, it was. I remember a couple of going there. It was like,
people aren't really going there to play games.
Well, they would, but there's just a different crowd there, and it was. I don't know. I think it probably had more of a. This probably wasn't nearly as bad as it seemed.
No, but I was
the seedy underbelly of the city hung out in the arcade.
I was too scared to go, so I never did.
No, we went a couple times, but I remember we went somewhere. Went for my buddy's birthday. That was really weird, and we all just his dad gave each of us got like $10 in quarters, whatever it was. Yeah. And they had like a virtual reality like strip poker game. So like 10 of us just put like every quarter into it to try and win it.
Is this at a mall?
No, this is a
different.
Why are teenage boys so desperate to see boobs?
Well, back then it was
hard to see. It was a challenge.
It wasn't like the internet. You could just go Google boobs.
I'm just talking in general. I have boobs and they ain't that great. So I don't understand what
just the way we're wired, I guess. But But I do remember that everyone spending every quarter on that, except for the one kid who's like, I'm going to play Street Fighter 2. I was like, what the hell's wrong with you, man? You can see a naked woman.
This is the machine we're using right now.
Yeah, the one kid, I'd rather try to beat Street Fighter. I was like, you idiot.
What's wrong with you?
Maybe he didn't like boobs.
Maybe. I don't know. At the time, who knows?
Maybe.
But yeah, so mall. So really quickly, I feel like the experience for I feel like malls were more of a teenage girl experience than a guy experience. Not that you guys didn't go, but for me, like going to the mall was like a thing. Like, I always used to go with my one friend. If you're listening, the same friend that, whatever I mentioned before did. We would go to the mall. It was usually her dad, because her dad was really nice and would always drive us. My parents would be grumpy, like, I'm not driving. And we were like bougie kids, and we're like, we're not going to take the bus. Sometimes we did. But anyway, her dad would drive us, and it was like this whole event. Like, you get ready, you go to the mall, like, you would spend hours at the mall, even though like you didn't really have money to buy anything. And the one thing I remember we would always do in the mall is we would always go to the food court, and we get a giant thing of New York fries, and we'd split it and just sit in the food court. I don't know, so weird.
Oh, I love
so weird.
That's the only time
New York fries are so good.
Yeah, I haven't had them in forever, but they're so good. And anyone who listens doesn't know New York fries. It's just like it's Canadian, right?
It's a Canadian franchise.
Yeah, and they do really good French fries. Yeah, and they have hot dogs, I think, too. But
it's in like every food court.
Yeah,
they don't have standalones. I mean, maybe, but like they're always in
generally
food courts.
in malls. But yeah, I definitely remember as a kid. Yeah, going
But that's what I remember doing the most, and I like obviously I remember going to the stores and stuff like. But it was just I just remember the food court, sitting in the food court and like seeing people be like, oh, look at their so and so. And my friend that I go with, we went to different schools, so she would see her friends, I would see some of my friends. It would just be like a whole variety of
weird.
And then you just go to kind of like hope that the boy you like is there, so you can kind of stalk.
My experience was totally different because like it was a trek to get into the mall from my little small town.
Yeah.
So when I went to the mall, it was for a purpose. So it was to go get like clothes for.
You were never just like dropped off to hang out with your friends at the mall.
No.
Oh, that sucks.
Not honestly, not until I was older and some friends like had driver's licenses.
I was gonna say I could see
it changed then.
Yeah.
But before that, it was someone's parent was driving you to the mall and it was probably to get something.
Oh yeah, no, I can see why your parents drive you like a half an hour. Be like, okay, I'll drive 2 hours to let you kids hang out for 30 minutes.
Here's also the different thing. Like the mall that Eric would have went to is in a very large city compared to the mall that like Steve and I would have went to when we were kids. It was in a very smaller city. So like the malls that me and Steve would go to, like you would see half your high school or half your class there because it was like a small community.
Yeah.
But whenever you would go to the mall outside of your little hick town, it was a very much larger. I was
a strange man in a strange land.
But it was
exactly.
I'm just saying,
can smell it on me. The fear.
No, but I'm just saying.
The cowboy boots gave it away.
I'm just saying. I think it would be less common for you to run into a group of people at the mall that you would have went to.
It happened once in a while, but it was definitely less common. Yeah.
Whereas like Saturday mornings, like at like 11 o'clock, like you could guarantee you'd see like a whole bunch of people that you knew at the mall here.
Yeah. No, that's definitely more of my experience when I got older and people had driver's licenses and stuff.
Yeah.
But before that, it was never said anybody really knew there.
Eric and his fam jam would go to the mall.
That's right. We're going on a shopping trip. Eric needs to do dungarees for school.
you go to Sears.
Oh, Sears was the place.
Sears was I remember you saying your mom was like a Sears stand.
My mom loved Sears. Like she'd go through that Sears catalog.
The Wish catalog?
The Wish book. And it came out annually.
And Miss Sears.
And I just remember they had a brand of clothes called Rest and Relaxation. R&R.
Did they? I don't remember that.
I never knew that's what it stood for.
I remember R&R. It was Rest and Relaxation. I don't. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I made it up.
Well, I'm guessing that's what R&R stands for, right? So I'm assuming that's what.
But my mom used to shop there all the time.
I always remember going to the Bay because the Bay was
too expensive.
It wasn't even so much that I would never shop there, but it was the entrance at the mall that we went to. That was the entrance we would go in.
Oh my god, that was like a flashback. When you walk through the Bay, the perfume section, you couldn't miss it. It's always just wafted through the whole store.
Oh, I know. It's always weird to me that was like I get, but how that was still like a thing they had. It's like really you have like a dedicated person there just to sell perfume. Like
exactly.
How much money are you making off the stuff that it's just
it's crazy that they have a whole section dedicated to it, and then they're beauticians, whatever they're called.
Like at each counter, they'd have someone there. Yeah, it's just,
Well, I mean,
it's just crazy that it was just a totally different time back then. But it's just weird to think that was like, we really got to push this perfume. It's like, this is your biggest moneymaker, I assume?
Well, I mean, it probably worked because like you literally are smelling it. Like perfume is really hard to sell in like print or commercial because you can't smell it.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, but to have it like, like your footprint of your store is so big that it's like you're gonna have like right in your main entrance like the biggest perfume thing and like different stands with like individual like 5 or 6 employees dedicated just to selling perfume. It's like
it's a department store. It's huge.
But it just seems like how much money are you making off perfume? Clearly it must be a lot to have that much invested in it.
I mean, that's just a very like in-depth like thought you had about
it's just kind of weird because then you can go to like this toy section as a kid or like look at clothes and no one's going to bother you because there's like one person working the entire section, but it's like they got like 17 people trying to spray perfume in your face.
I know.
I don't know.
Force samples on you.
Yeah, they spray that little
I don't think it's that
piece of like paper.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that weird, but whatever.
I don't know. I'd be curious to see the numbers on their perfume sales. It must have been like they're really pushing the hell out of it. Like they must have been making a fortune.
Well, it obviously clearly worked at some point in time. I mean, they don't do that anymore. Because people are all like scent allergic and stuff.
I do find that as I've gotten older though, like I'll walk past there, what's the other one? Like the Bed Bath, not what's the one?
Bath and Body Works.
Like just walking past that store, I'm like, I can just feel it. Hit my allergies. I'm like, God,
such a freaking drama.
Oh my god, I would love to like walk past that store with you in the mall just to watch you like you faint from the smell.
Oh yeah, but no, it's like I found as I get older, like I do have some allergies, but like some of these smells, I'm like, wow, like. instantly just be like, I can just feel it like right in my eyes and stuff like that. It's like
Steve is a treat to be anywhere with. He really
that's why I
is.
just avoid those. I hate those Bath
And he
Body
wonders
Works.
why he gets nicknamed Grumpy Old Man.
But that was the point. Like I hated the perfume section walking through it, but it was impossible to avoid.
No, I know. It's just a weird thing that was there.
Well, it was very 90s. But I mean, and I remember, just really quickly thinking about it, but remember like back when you went as a teen, like you could smoke in the malls. Not that I ever smoked as a
They
teenager.
had those big tall cylinder ashtrays. Yeah.
I remember I had a friend that smoked, and I remember
Just so weird to think that you could do that.
Yeah, well, I remember like in school, like I had friends that smoked. So I remember, they would go out at lunch, like on break in high school. I remember going out with them. They'd stand out in the parking lot. There was like the smoker's pit, they would call it.
Yeah, we had that
and like
too.
Our English teacher was there with us.
That's
so weird.
Having a smoke with the kids.
Yeah.
That's not like weird to me. I'm saying it's weird because I don't like. I know they banned the smoking like when we were kind of pretty young, but like I just don't. I remember the ashtrays being in there with the sand, but I don't remember people smoking in the mall. It's a weird thing. I don't know why I don't.
I have a vague memory. I remember like the ashtrays, like kind of like the sand on the top.
Yeah,
it was weird because I think. Well, I mean, we're a little too young to remember this, but like smoking culture was way different back in the day.
Oh yeah, Well, I remember like the vending machines in the stores and stuff like that, and like some restaurants and stuff like that.
You could smoke in airplanes. You could smoke in
but going away, like I think you're talking about this. Your dad, when he went to university and stuff, he could smoke like in like the
it's like they had to sit in the back because my dad was a smoker when he was younger. But he said like you had to sit in the back row
in lecture halls. You could smoke. Yeah.
Yeah,
they had like a little ashtray on the chair, he said, or something like that.
Yeah,
even the cars. Like I
movie
remember,
theaters,
like,
ashtrays in every car.
Like in the door. I remember my parents in the door had like those little metal ones that would flip out and stuff like that.
The only thing I really remember where there was smoking before it was like banned in public places, I only remember restaurants, but I don't remember people smoking in movie theaters. I don't remember any of that.
Yeah,
I remember what a waste of time it was to have like smoking and non-smoking sections in restaurants.
They'd have like a line of like fake plants or something like that.
Yeah,
separating. It's like, oh, thank God, I'm safe.
Yeah, exactly. I remember non-smoking section. I'm safe over here. Yeah, it's like that's all wafting over
because it's been so long. Like it's so weird to think back to like the restaurants.
No, I still remember. I'm being in the mall because my buddy did smoke when we were in high school, and I remember him lighting up in the mall.
Yeah.
And I remember he's like, "Where are the ashtrays?" And someone's like, I remember some guy, like a guy probably like maybe 20, was like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, man, this is illegal now." And then he's like,
"You're going to jail."
Well, no, but he's like, "Yeah, you get fined, right?"
Yeah.
And he's like, and then it's like, "Oh yeah, that's why there's no ashtrays anymore."
Now I do remember
they had like cover them up with like some not paper, but like put some sort of thing over top.
I do remember the ash. Like I said, I remember the ashtrays. I remember seeing cigarette butts in the ashtrays. I just don't remember actually like realizing people were smoking. But I do remember a lot of kids in the like who were teenagers. They go and this is so gross. They try and get the butts out of the ashtray and smoke them.
Oh, that's so gross.
Really?
No, I could.
Well, like the people that were like, "Oh, I can't buy my own cigarettes. I don't have money or whatever." And like, you know how some people don't smoke a whole cigarette, right?
Yeah. No. I mean, kids would just try and do whatever.
So gross. And I'm not gonna lie. If I smoked that back then, who knows if I would have done it too? Because kids are stupid. But now I'm just like, I just want to throw up in my mouth. That is so gross.
Yeah. But
teenagers are dumb.
It's a kid. You try all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we survived, but like it was dumb. But now the thought of that.
I
know. It's crazy. Yeah, smoking is such a like. You still see some people,
but not a lot.
But it's
rare.
Yeah, I think vaping is more of the thing now.
That seems like it's more that. Yeah, but like cigarette. Although I saw one the other day on a butt on the ground. I was like, "What is that?" But they actually like they have like warnings actually on the cigarettes now.
Whoa!
Yeah, because I saw a bunch of them like in the parking lot of the grocery store I was going through. I was like, I just saw them on the ground. I was like, "What is those things?" And I was like, "Oh, it's the butt, but it has like writing on it."
Yeah,
and it's like a warning about like causes cancer or something. I'm like, "Oh Jesus!" It's like everywhere on the pack, like on the cigarettes now and stuff. It's crazy.
Well, I don't think it's a bad thing.
No, it's good. I mean, but. Yeah. Everyone knows that it's not good for you.
Well, of course.
But it's crazy how, back in the days there, I remember going to, I can't remember what restaurant it was, it's some chain, but I remember I always remember there being a big cigarette vending machine in the front door.
Yeah.
I remember, sorry, I'm like, I don't even know why I yawned. I mid-yawned, and I was like half talking and mid-yawning, and it was a whole weirdly weird...
We're at that point in the podcast.
Yeah.
Well, my face is probably like...
You need to have you having more of that coffee or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. I made everybody coffee.
It's really good. Yes, thanks for that.
But it was totally normal to see like in restaurants, hotels, whatever, like a pop vending machine beside it, a cigarette vending machine.
Yeah. Now... You don't even see them in gas stations anymore. They're all like hidden.
Do you guys remember? Okay, this is going to be very probably Canadian specific. So sorry if you don't guys know what we're talking about if you're not from Canada. But I was just thinking of the food court, and like I'm gonna name off some like places I remember from the food court, and just be like, yeah, if you remember.
All right.
Every time I went to the food court, I would always go here, Mrs. Vanelli's Pizza.
Yes, I love their pizza.
Oh, they had the best bread and
the pizza and the garlic bread. Yeah.
Salad.
Yeah.
Mrs. Vanelli's was
That's
so
right.
good.
I remember they had a salad.
I loved
too.
them.
Yeah, Mrs. Vanelli's.
Yeah, they were so good.
Muffins.
I remember muffins.
Yeah, the chocolate. I love their chocolate chip muffins. Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
I don't know if this was like just specific, but does anybody remember Grandma Lee?
Yes.
No.
It was like a little
It was like a
coffee shop bakery thing.
I remember the name. I'm trying to think of what
it was
they
really
had
way
there,
back
but
in the day.
I
I don't remember Grandma Lee.
What are some other like random?
Oh God, I'm trying to think of.
Some of them are still around, like Manchu Walk.
Yeah.
They've been around
That's been around for like ever.
I'm just
yeah.
thinking about ones that like don't exist.
Yeah.
A&W, which is weird because A&W is kind of having a resurgence up here in Canada, but
Yeah.
I think
It's really
I think it's like a
expensive.
Canadian thing only, though. I don't think
Yeah.
in the US it's really around that much anymore. But here it's kind of popping up all over the place.
But yeah, Mrs. Vanelli's.
I forgot about Mrs. Vanelli's. Yeah,
so
I was remembering
good.
going for a slice of pizza. I'm trying to think what else was in the.
That's usually
food
what I went
court.
to. Mrs. Vanelli's, muffins.
Yeah, muffins.
Yeah.
That I don't know whatever happened to that place.
I don't know.
McDonald's used to have
I was
be in
just
the
about to
food
say,
court a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah, there was a McDonald's
Yeah.
food court.
Yeah, now not so much,
No.
but it used to be in food
Not
courts.
yeah,
Sometimes you'll find a Burger King in a food court still.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I haven't seen McDonald's in a food court in a long time.
No, I
No,
don't
no,
think.
yeah.
But yeah, I Mrs. Vanelli's. Oh my god, it was so good.
Yeah, I forgot about that. They had like I remember that with the salad and so you get like a little meal and they give them that little shitty paper plate.
Yeah.
The little flimsy paper plate that
Yeah.
had grease soaking through by the
yeah,
end.
it was
Yeah.
just like literally a paper plate.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like, thanks.
so good.
Yeah.
I want to eat Mrs. Vanelli's now.
Yeah,
Pizza.
yeah. I don't.
You have to be so rude all the
I
time.
don't.
We didn't say anything.
That-
You snorted.
I had to
I didn't
Google,
snort.
I had to Google that one. I'm guessing
I
there's
know.
none of those around anymore.
I don't think so.
I don't think
I don't
so.
think
I
so.
feel like
but
they were just food court places.
I never
Oh, yeah.
saw them. They were then in a food court at least.
100%.
You know, but
And then obviously there was New York fries, like just
New York
the
fries. Yeah,
basics.
that's been around a long time.
We used to have a lot of it was like Orange Julius.
Orange Julius.
Yes,
Julius.
I remember that. Yeah,
There was a cookie place too. What the hell was that place called?
Treats.
Muffins.
Treats. That's exactly. Yeah.
Remember the It Store? Not that was a food place, but just made me think of the It Store.
I love the It Store when I was a kid. That was like.
Did you
know-
guys go to the 18 plus section?
Oh, always.
I remember trying to. Yeah, they had like
At the back, it'd be like warning, 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 warning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
18 plus, and you'd see the edible underwear.
That's right. I remember that.
Oh yeah.
I remember. Yeah, all
Amongst
sorts of stuff
other
with
things,
it.
like novelties and
It
stuff.
was basically like a Spencer's, but like a little dirtier.
Yeah, definitely
Oh,
like a. Spencer's had a.
Spencer's
Actually,
is
it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Spencer might be actually worse than the It Store,
It
but
was
might
the
be.
It store,
Yeah.
yeah, but it was like a Spencer's in comparison. But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
but-
a novelty store.
I also like the name, the It store.
Yeah.
It.
yeah. But I remember as a
It's
kid,
there.
and it just
Disappeared one day.
Yeah.
Another one too, Radio Shack.
Oh yeah, Radio Shack. Yeah.
That was a great store. I remember going there all the time. That was a really good place to go for like random, like looking at all our audio gear and stuff here, camera equipment.
Did your
Bits and pieces you
Yeah.
needed. Yeah.
Did your malls have so like as we all know, most malls the bookends are like department stores. Did your malls have a Zellers? Because mine did.
We had a Zellers, but not in the mall.
No, it was,
Oh, that
I
was the
miss Zellers. I
shit.
do.
We had a standalone
love
Zellers.
I miss it. So anyone who doesn't know, in American watching, Zellers was a department store up here.
It's like our Walmart.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was like our Walmart. It disappeared about, 10, 15 years ago now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss it.
It got
So
replaced
do
by
I.
Target. I think you just said that,
Yeah.
right? And then it did a pop-up shop trying to kind of
Yeah, but it
reinvigorate
wasn't-
Yeah.
Zellers in the Bay, but it never really
It was
worked
literally just Bay products, and they slapped an old school
Or they
Zellers
just
sticker
Yeah,
on
it was a
I know.
weird
Stupid.
sort of failed attempt at
out. Yeah,
like,
exactly. And, Zellers was obviously cheaper than the Bay, but the pop-up shop was the same as the Bay prices.
Yeah, it was
so it's
just
like,
stupid.
what?
and it was like a small little piece
Now,
of the It was
here you
weird,
go.
yeah, but I
If you,
miss Zellers.
fun fact, my first job and my only job, like in high school and stuff, was Zellers. I
That's
was a
right, I remember you
Zellers
saying- tell us that, yeah.
girly.
Can you
Hey,
collect Club Z points?
Oh, hell yeah. And you got like 15% discount. My mom and grandma were like, you can never quit this job. Because like they wanted me for my discount.
But what happened?
15%.
Did you quit?
Well, yeah. I mean, you can't survive on
Disappoint the
retail.
family.
But I worked there for like 6 years, 7. I worked there through like high school and college.
Oh, wow.
And then when I got my first real big girl job, I
Well,
quit.
then it's, yeah.
But if you know, like the Zellers is that were the shit had the restaurant in it. The
Oh.
The Zellers restaurant.
It
I
was
remember-
such shit food, but
Yeah.
it was
cheap,
so
but I remember
good.
going there. I remember like going there in high school with friends,
Yeah.
and like it was cheap, so you go in there and get like a.
Oh
So
my
good.
God.
I can't remember.
And I
the
don't
toasted
know-
Western sandwich.
Yeah.
I think,
You
or
get the
something like that.
hot beef sandwich. I don't know about you guys, but like the Zellers that I frequented or went to all the time, it was like, so the restaurant, but they always had, I'm just stereotyping, but she was lovely and I still think about her to this day. But they always had this sort of like older lady who was like the server, the waitress at the time in the diner, who worked like every single day and was like kind of disgruntled, but also sassy, but also just like, it was like the diner.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it.
Was your Zeller's restaurant like a retro's 50s kind of place?
No, it was like
mine was.
Because they tried to be cool and redo it. No, mine was like Zellers.
One of them was, I remember the one Zellers I know, it was kind of more of like a 50s style one, but then the other one was just like
the OG.
just like a diner,
regular diner.
Oh my god! But it was such shitty food. It was literally just like you know.
It was. Remember, they used to have like the dessert, like it was like in those little like glass trays, maybe like a little slice of pie or something, like a little Jello and like the little glass like sort of Sunday dish or something like that.
Right now, I would kill to go back in time and go to the Zellers Diner.
Well, remember they tried to ring out, they had like a little pop up, but it was not
like a food.
They had like a food truck.
Same.
Well, no, I know you can't.
No. I want the whole vibe. I want the atmosphere. I want the like. It was loud. You'd always hear like the kitchen people in the back would like yell at each other because it was all like kids that worked back there. Like it was just such a vibe. And like it was such a diner.
Oh yeah, no. Sadly, those days are long gone.
Yeah,
but
let's go back in time to like 1994.
Maybe some smarty pants that there will make like an AR VR like retro experience.
Yeah,
so you can go back and relive this stuff.
But I want the smells and.
I was gonna say though, that's you can get they have like little perfume people that can sell you the scents that you want to smell Zellers here.
So when you walk through classic Sears of the Bay, you get that like perfume whiff too.
Did you guys smell Zellers though?
Yeah.
I could smell it.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I do miss Zellers. It was sad to see that go up here in Canada.
Yeah, it was awesome. I miss it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sad now.
Now it's so different to like, go to the mall, like not all the time, but you still go to the mall every so often, but it's weird. It's just not. It's just as a kid.
There's more empty stores now.
Yeah, it's not the same. And I don't see a ton of kids really hanging around. Like
the only time I see
Saturday, like you don't see a lot of people hanging out there. And
the only time you see kids hanging out at the mall now is if it's like there's a school nearby and they go on their lunch break to the food court.
But
otherwise, like, I mean, I was just at the mall today and like there was, I mean, of course, I'm sure there's some teenagers there, but it wasn't like before where like literally it was just all high school kids in the food court hanging out and causing shit and being annoying.
Yeah, well, because I mean, it would mean honestly the biggest difference obviously is like cell phone, right? Like that's the only time you could call people on the phone, obviously.
But it was just different.
You would go and hang out in person, whereas I think now it's mostly probably done over like Snapchat, TikToks. FaceTime.
They're hanging out virtually.
Yeah, it's probably just a different, or you can. Yeah, it's just not the same. You had to get out of your house to go see your friends. There was not really a choice.
Oh, now I'm just sad. I want to go back in time.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good old day. It was fun hanging all these different places.
No.
I want to go.
Oh no! Did we hit that level now?
You just said the good old days. Oh no!
Oh no, Steve! Curse you!
I want to go back to
Burn
roller.
Your tongue.
I want to go to the roller skating rink again.
I would literally, Eric and I said this. We would pay money to see freaking like 9-year-old Steve whipping around on with his chain and his like his little skater hair. Like, oh my god!
I picture you being dressed up like in like Adidas tracksuits.
He wore flannel shirt.
No. When I had a sweet. I think I stole from my sister like a red hoodie, a red sweatshirt with a big Adidas logo on it that I would wear.
Whoa!
Did you have a chain or some shitty like chain?
I think I stole from my sister. She gave it to me, this little gold chain.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I was probably like 11. Yeah,
I loved such a badass.
I think but I had so much fun. I loved it. I loved listening to hearing all the music and stuff like that. Yeah.
I love it. I would pay to see that.
It was my jam back in the day, yeah.
It helped that you had the older sister, right? So like just by default she would go, so you'd be able to go like
I could sort of tag along and then go do my buddy and I would go off on our own and then
like I was the older sibling, so my sister did that with me. It was annoying.
Yeah. My sister hated it, but she would go off with her friends and then I would go off with my friend.
And then you just sit with your friends and check out the ladies, the older ladies.
That's right.
Are you smoking your darts out front with the kids in the crotch rockets?
No.
I'm kidding.
At like 11, no.
Obviously, I'm kidding. I was trying to paint you as badass.
No, I was not the badass. No,
I'm just teasing.
But it was fun. I loved it. I mean, I had a ton of fun. That was like that was like late. I guess what do you call middle school is what you call it?
Like grade 6, grade 7.
Grade 6 to 10. Or 9, I guess.
Once I got got to grade 8, grade 9, then I kind of then I started transitioning more to then it would be like going to the mall and hanging out
parties.
That was high school, more like
I think that we
later
can
high school.
agree. This pains me a lot to actually say this, but I think that Eric and I could agree that Steve was probably the coolest teenager out of the three of us.
It's not saying much. I'll tell you that.
Well,
much.
considering if I go back in time, I'm still not getting invited to any parties, so I'll agree with your statement there.
I was too scared to go to parties, and yeah, like that was about it. But Steve actually went to the parties. So.
Nice, yeah. My friend, yeah, just people hang out with, yeah.
Steve
Nothing
was,
super crazy, but it was fun.
Steve was the coolest one out of all of us.
I had some crazy times back in the day.
I can't even say I was like really smart because I just stayed home and studied. I didn't do that either. I was just
yeah.
I thought you were the Doogie Howser of your town.
It was terrible in school, but it's fun. It's always fun to like just have conversation and think back to this stuff.
Oh, yeah,
like
no,
you
it's,
can, for me, like I'm a super visual person, so I literally in my head I can like it's almost like these weird like little movies playing where like these snapshots of memories, and I can like picture the ambience. I can hear the sounds. I can almost smell the smells.
I can taste Mrs. Vanelli's.
No, but like for real, like it's like it's like in my brain I'm transported back
that's the way it is. Like sometimes you hear a certain song and it'll just take you right back to
that time
and place for something. Oh yeah, totally.
And it was just so like easy, and if only we knew what was ahead.
Well, it's like anyway, yeah, everyone looked back, everything was better back then. Everyone looks back with rose-colored glasses.
Nostalgia goggles.
All right, guys, but comment below and let us know where you hung out as a teenager or a young whippersnapper.
Where was the place to be?
What was your mall experience like?
Absolutely.
Yeah, were you the cool kid like Steve, or were you the not cool kid like Eric and I?
Thanks for lumping me in.
Actually, I think it goes Steve was coolest, then me, then Eric.
Well, I'm the bottom of the barrel.
You didn't even go to the mall as a teenager without your family.
Once my friends had driver's licenses.
Eric had the better experience growing up in a smaller town.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right, guys, comment below. Let us know. We love to hear from you. We love to hear your thoughts and your stories. But that is it for today's podcast. We thank you so very much for joining us, and we will see you in the next one.
Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys.